What's up, internet? Welcome back. This is Linter22. Welcome to another episode of this thing I'm trying to experiment, which is making these videos more long form so I can discuss all kinds of things. Whenever I'm making a video and it's on an individual topic, every now and then kind of like subcategory topics kind of come out of it, and I think about them and I think, oh, I would love to add this to my video. But, I don't want to make them too long where people kind of lose interest. So then I kind of thought, why don't I just make a more variety show where I kind of talk about all kinds of things. And then I can talk about little smaller things that probably are tangents, and it's okay as long as I kind of keep a structure to it. So once again, if you're subscribed to me, please leave some feedback so I know that I'm doing the right thing, or maybe I could slowly adapt a few different choices. I do want to keep my upload rate to once a week instead of every day like I was for a while. Then I tried making it twice a week, and then I realized I'm gonna stick with once a week. And since it's only going to be once a week, so now I have all these topics to talk about and not enough videos to upload. So how about I just throw them all into one video and upload it? Something that has caught my attention lately is emulation, and I even discovered a thing called Mister, where it's FPGA, if I'm saying it right, emulation, where it's like hardware emulating the old hardware, the original hardware of, I don't know, either an arcade system or something like that. But Mister is an overall project where a bunch of people are working to slowly emulate hopefully all hardware that exists. And I think that's really cool because by emulating in that sort of way, it makes all of the cons of emulation or software emulation kind of dissipate. But of course, by using this process, it will cost a lot more. So if you're into emulation, go ahead and try it out. In fact, it's not FPGA, but I have been turning my old Surface Pro 4 into kind of like an emulation tablet where I can access a bunch of different games. And then of course, since xCloud may be a thing where I can stream directly from my Xbox, that might just add a bunch of games onto this little tablet I'm developing. Right now, I currently have Emulation Station working, and I only have 3 consoles emulated on there, and I'm keeping it small to start off with just so I can kind of get what I want, figure out what features I want to add to this. And yeah, so if you guys have ever worked on an emulation tablet or anything like this and you want to give me some ideas, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm really excited to see how this goes. I think I will post maybe images or videos of what I've got done so far just so you guys can be updated. Just let me know if you're interested in that. Today's topics are all about the Atari VCS Q&A that Michael Arts did, some Sonic news, some RetroArch news, a Mario Maker update, and the Frankensons show, which you guys should check out if you don't know about it. And if you want to skip to any of the topics, these are the timestamps. You can also find the timestamps down below in the description. But if you sit back and relax and enjoy the entire show, I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy. But before I get into the topics, let me ask you guys the question of the week. Now, this is gonna be kind of part of one of my topics, and that is the Atari VCS. And the question to all of you guys is, if you were replaced just magically with Michael Arts and you were steering the ship of the Atari VCS, what moves would you make? What power moves would you make? What relations would you create? And most importantly, do you think that they are screwed? Even considering this is most likely a scam, say that you were put into that place, how would you look at it? Would you expose them to the world and find all the proof you can to do that? Or would you try to turn it around? Really curious. And that's the question. Go ahead and leave your response down below. And on to the topics. Atari VCS finally has an update for us, and it's not good news once again. It turns out the VCS is, guess, it's going to be delayed. And this time, it's not going to have a specific date of when it's going to be delayed. Through a Q&A with Michael Arts, if you don't know who that is, that's the guy that's steering the ship of the Atari VCS. He kind of explained what processes they're going through and why they can't announce certain things because of partners, And some of it's kind of interesting information, but because of where we're at right now, does this even matter? We already knew that you guys are way behind. When you guys were saying that this device was going to be delivered to backers in December or something like that, almost the entire internet knew that that wasn't going to happen. You can see that everywhere. Everyone kind of saw where they were in terms of making this thing, and they said, no way, that's not going to happen. Well, The internet was correct because in this Q&A, Michael Arts makes it very clear that the product is not finished, and he says they are trying to hurry up to get this product to backers because they want backers to really test this product since they put their money towards it, because they essentially paid to be testers, I guess. But that's beside the point. So the scheduled launch seems to still be March 2020, and somewhere in between that, backers are supposed to get this product. Now, I'm not really clear if they changed their minds on shipping this to backers with a blank OS or a basic Linux OS, because they did specify that they're working on the OS within Unity. And another thing I thought was kind of funny was he stresses in this Q&A that Unity is like a partner and this product will work well with Unity. Well, this computer is literally an x86 computer, and Unity already works with that, no? I mean, the only thing I can think of is what he meant maybe there's specific functions within the Atari specific OS, and when you develop your game within Unity, there's going to be a nice little area within Unity that will attach buttons to Atari OS. I don't know. I'm not surprised by this news at all. I don't think anyone really should be. If you're angered by this, you should have been angry a long time ago. If you're laughing at this because you can't believe it got worse, I wouldn't say that this is the worst news that we've got, because it's been worse, but I have to say the entire internet saw this coming. I gotta ask, is Michael Arts, like, does he really know what he's doing? Is he making realistic timelines, or is he like literally going into a dark cave and getting lost and thinking, oh man, I don't think I'm ever gonna get out of this cave? So what do you guys think? Are you guys like just looking at this going, oh my god, not again, more bad news? Or is this good news in your eyes? Let me know down below. Have you wondered to yourself why Paramount decided to go with such a strange looking hedgehog? Of course, the internet originally thought that it was some sort of conspiracy theory, that they purposely showed people that so they can get so angry that when they saw this new redesign that they would be extremely happy, grateful. They would watch the movie and they would just be so happy regardless of how the movie actually turns out. But that got debunked pretty quickly from Tyson on Twitter, I believe. He quickly posted that that's definitely not what happened. It looks like we got some more information from animator Max Schneider. He actually revealed that Paramount apparently already knew that dedicated fans would hate the design, but they thought that the rest of the world's, I guess the regular people, would kind of be fine with it. They'd watch the movie and all will be forgotten. But of course, the backlash was so greater than they expected that they had to do a turnaround. Not only that, but it also seemed like Sega actually met with them, and at the end of their meeting, it was officially decided, yes, there was going to be a redesign. That makes sense, because if I was Sega and I were to have seen that backlash, especially after having a lot of bad games and dealing with that backlash in previous times, I would want to make sure that I would fix this immediately, because this is their mascot. I'm sure a large portion of what the company makes, or where their fans originated from, come from the hedgehog himself. So if Paramount goes out and just damages their hedgehog, their money maker, then Sega's gonna have to do some damage control. That just seems like it has to be done. Pretty sure they met with people and said, no, you have to change this or else we will blank and blank and blank. But who knows, because all those discussions always happen behind closed doors. All I know is that if I was in charge of Sega, I would definitely go over to Paramount, slam on their door and say, hey, knock it out. I'm just glad that the design that we ultimately ended up with is a good design. Now, at the time of recording this video, I see that there is actually a humble bundle for the Sonic games. And it's pretty much a bunch of different games on Steam. So if there are any Sonic the Hedgehog games that you want and you've just put off, I think that is a good opportunity. So check that out. And a last bit of some Sonic information, because of course I'm going to give you all the Sonic information that I can find. It looks like somewhere in the internet a video of Sonic going down in the Thanksgiving parade has popped up. Now, I'm not sure how this video was lost. I don't know the history of this video being unseen, but it's a small little video, and if I am able to, I'll include it in this video. It's just kind of funny. It's a funny story. I believe I read, it might have been in Console Wars, it might have been somewhere else. I read this probably a long time ago, but the Sonic the Hedgehog balloon was so aerodynamically well designed, if I'm even saying that right, that when they brought it out, the winds practically pulled Sonic just based off his design. Which, if that is true, that is hilarious, and I love that. That's definitely a great story. And part of me thinks that because that story is so great, that's probably means it's fake and not real. So if any of you out there have proof that I'm actually correct on this or something like that, I think it might have been Console Wars. If it is, if you guys can quote me, that would be great. And I'd like to know if this like little story is true, because it sounds pretty cool. Well, anyways, if I missed anything about Sonic, go ahead and leave it down below in the comments for us to discuss. So some updates coming from RetroArch, which is a front end that many people use to play their emulators, which I mentioned earlier that I'm using Emulation Station, but its backbone is essentially RetroArch. It looks like a couple updates that are coming to it are hardware video decoding and manual content scanning. So essentially, for the first one, it will be possible to use your GPU to help make the emulators run a little more efficient. Because right now, all the emulators are primarily using the CPU. And now if your computer also has a GPU, and if these emulators are programmed efficiently, then expect a little boost from your emulators. And this is good for anyone with a Raspberry Pi because that has a GPU integrated along with the CPU. Another thing that was announced is that you will be able to manually scan content into RetroArch. So if you have any games that you want to scan yourself, this sounds like this may be for you. Now, I don't normally do any news on RetroArch, but because I've been getting into emulation lately, I've decided that, you know what? Many of these updates I believe you guys deserve to know about. So if you guys enjoyed learning more about RetroArch and emulation, let me know down below. Mario Maker 2 is dropping another update, and it actually adds a lot of cool stuff, a lot of neat things, like a block that can be brought out by a switch, this new monster that throws a spike ball, which I believe they're from Super Mario World 3D, am I saying that name right, for the Wii U? But I'm sure there's other games that this creature has been in. And then it has one really awesome update, and that is the Master Sword. And what is the Master Sword doing in this game? Well, it adds Link. Now, if you remember, Super Mario Maker 1 had all the amiibo costumes, which were pretty awesome, but they dropped them because I'm not sure why. I mean, amiibos are still a thing, and I have all my amiibos, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have had the ability to scan these into Super Mario Maker 2. But if this is what they plan on doing with the NES costumes, by making them have more abilities, then maybe this is an okay thing, because this Link can do a lot of stuff. He can throw bombs, he has a shield, he has a sword, and I believe he has a boomerang. And that's pretty awesome. I can't wait to see what else they add to this game now. This is crazy, and I'm really excited to not only make levels myself that are just solely based on this, I can't wait to play other people's levels that are solely based on this. The only one thing that I have a wish list for now on this costume is I wish there was a way where I can make a level based on only this costume, and instead of you getting hit and Mario takes that costume off, he dies, or maybe he has a health bar or something like that, just so the character stays as Link instead of hopping to Mario and maybe kind of breaking the level that I designed. Who knows? Maybe they do have a function like that. I doubt it, but this DLC drops December 5th, so by the time this video goes up, it should actually already be out. But by the time I'm recording this, unfortunately, I haven't tried it yet. There's also this really cool speedrun thing where these Nintendo-made levels are going to be allowed for us to try to speedrun through them, and you can see everyone's kind of speedrun and kind of compare yours in real time. You should be able to see it. It's actually pretty cool. So what do you guys think on that? Are you guys excited for Super Mario Maker 2 updates? Do you plan on making levels based on this? Let me know down below. And, you know, I would like to attach my Mario Maker ID, which I probably will, maybe not, I don't know. Check the description down below. I'm not exactly proud of my personal levels I've made. I feel like in Mario Maker 1, I made really good levels. In Mario Maker 2, I keep working on them, and I'm like, it's not good enough. I don't know, but I think I'll attach it just so you guys can try it. And if you guys have a Mario Maker ID, attach it to the comments so I can play your guys' level. That'll be really cool. Frankenstein's is a collectible show that is located in Southern California. It's a place that I've been to a lot, and I know a lot of people within Southern California have been to. It's an awesome place where you're going to see a lot of things you don't normally see out in the wild. It's a collectible show where many vendors set up shop and they show off things like comic books, trading cards, action figures, all sorts of things. But the important thing to me was the classic video games that you'll find there. You'll find a lot of things that you can purchase. Now, to be completely fair, the prices there have generally not been low, but at the same time, it's a unique place. You don't normally find these items out in the wild. So the prices are kind of high because of the convenience of them all being in the show. And these vendors kind of have to make money in order to, you know, keep their shop up. So I've always been kind of understanding on the prices, so I never generally get angry about it. The last time I went there, I actually purchased Epic Mickey for the Wii, and I think I got it at a relatively good price. I don't remember if it was either $5 or $10. Either way, it wasn't too bad, and I looked online, and it looked like generally that game went for, I want to say $15 or whatever it was. I believe it was $5 more than what I paid for it. And I was kind of impressed because you don't normally see that. But to be fair, that was actually a new vendor at the time, so I wonder if he caught on that he can put his prices higher. But let's get to the most important part of why I'm talking about Frankensons. It looks like it's moving locations, and it's set to open its new location in January 4th. It's going to move into a location that used to be a Sam's Club, and that Sam's Club closed down when a bunch of different Sam's Clubs closed down. Now, Frankensons being there is great because if you've ever been there, you know that the parking was never generally that good. And they had no air conditioning. This new location has much more parking, and the air conditioning is apparently there. So I'm looking forward to this. There's also going to be more space for more vendors, so a lot of cool things. Another thing that occurs over at Frankensons in the past is the Southern California Retro Gaming Convention. Not exactly sure if I'm saying the name right, but it's a nice little convention, pretty small, where a bunch of vendors kind of group up and show off their collections of classic video games for sale. So if you're in Southern California, I say check out this new location once it opens up. I look forward to seeing if this will be better than before. And to give you an idea of when to actually go to this, at the moment, the place is only open on Wednesdays from 3 to 9 p.m., Saturdays to 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But once this location opens up, they're going to add Sundays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is pretty cool. I think it's really smart that they don't keep their doors open all the time because this type of place is very niche. So I believe if it was open all the time every day, then they probably wouldn't get much traffic and the prices would probably end up being more. Well, anyways, what do you guys think? Have you guys ever shopped at Frankensons? Do you guys want to go to Frankensons? Let me know down below. And if you guys want more information on the show, leave your comments and I'll share what I know. Well, that's it for the topics. Thank you for listening. And if you made it this far, really thank you and would appreciate the feedback on this new format. I want to give it a name, maybe like a show name. I don't know yet. I want to figure that out, but I don't want to rush into it. I want to give myself some time. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll be back with more.